I gotta ask this rumor, man. Because they say Jimmy Iovine signed you, right?
Right.
And then you was with Pharell.
Right.
But the rumor was that you was rich already.
Right.
That's the rumor. That's the rumor.
It was really just from underground music. I was an underground artist, you know what I'm saying? And when I started in 1998. I was 17 in high school. So, you know.
Best year of my life.
Right. That was 1998. So, you know, I was killing them back then, making money, doing underground mixtapes. But the only thing, it was chopped and screwed, you know. So, if you from out of town and you ain't never listened to that, you never knew who the hell I was.
Right.
But, you know.
So your tapes was originally, what you got rich off of was chopped and screwed.
Chopped and screwed. Rapping on y'all beats. You know, that's how people knew me, you know, from rapping on, you know, everybody else beats and it being chopped and screwed. And then later on, we did Still Tipping, and that came out, and that was something that crossed over out of the Texas chopped and screwed market. And
who else was on that record with you?
me, Mike Jones, and Paul Walker.
Oh yeah, that's right. Crazy right. That's right.
So that's what actually I was already signed. I was actually already signed before that though, you know, just off of, you know, them seeing what I was doing, you know, independently.
What is good, y'all? It's Coffee on the vid, and we gotta hop back in our time machines once again and go back to like 2004 to when the Houston, H-Town, Texas, chopped and screwed hip hop takeover of, you know, as far as the masses came into play. It was a wild time, and one of the main players when it came to that, you know, bringing it to the masses out of H-Town, out of the South to all over the country was Slim Thug. Everyone jump in the comments and let me know if you would agree that Slim Thug was the first one to bring it across the country, or would you say it was Mike Jones? Let me know in them comments. But it was crazy, right? You heard what Slim Thug was talking about. He was already getting money. He had a buzz as far as within the music industry. The execs, the higher ups knew about him just from what he was doing independently with the mixtapes, with the chopped and screwed music, or screwed and chopped. All you southern cats that are really up on all that. What's the difference between chopped and screwed and chopped? Is there a difference? Like, hop in the comments, let me know. But that's a big deal when you hear him saying Jimmy Iovine signed him. You know, Jimmy had his eye on Slim Thug as far as, you know, him being some up and coming talent and really seeing this as a movement that could go across the country. And then you also heard him say Pharell, you know, came to Houston and was like, yo, I got to work with you. You know, I don't even got to go in on how, I mean, the Neptunes are still dope, but back in that era, 2004, like the Neptunes, it was just crazy what they were doing. But anyways, man, so back around 2004, you know, BET Uncut. This is another story where BET Uncut's going to come into play. I mentioned it in another video before, talking about the Nelly tip drill video and talking about that Benzino Made Men video. You remember Eminem dissed him for that. You got to stay up all night to see your video. But anyways, man, BET Uncut, you know, a lot of us insomniacs used to be up, and you know, when it gets around that hour, it's like infomercials or BET Uncut or like Howard Stern or something like that. You know what I'm saying? On E. It was a different time back then. And I remember first time I seen this, I said, whoa, this is dope, man. When that Still Tipping beat hit. And, you know, I'm like, this got my attention. And then Slim Thug came in. What do you say? Gucci shades on my braids when I escalate. He threw the Mitchell and S in there. GameCube, Nintendo, the tin in the window and all that. We're seeing the cars. You know, what were those? Like, some of y'all Southern cats are probably going to laugh at me. But, you know, because I'm not up on all, you know, the H-Town culture. But those rims that were on the cars, the candy paint, the ish they had going on in the trunk with the lights and all that. I was like, yo, this is something special right here. This is dope, you know. And then I personally was talking to a friend of mine, you know what I mean? Because I'm way up in New York, all the way up by that Canadian border. And I'm talking to a friend of mine who's from Texas. And he's like, yo, man, you ain't never heard of Swisha House? These dudes been doing this for a long time. And word started circulating around and everything. You know what I mean? Because keep it real, like a lot of people did know about this music, but a lot of people didn't. And a lot of people don't like to admit that maybe they weren't up on something like that. But I knew a lot of cats that used to get money and stuff like that. So they would travel to different places. You know, they were putting a lot of highway miles on the car, out of town trips, getting money, coming back. And some of them did indeed have those Swisha House mixtapes, which you hear Slim Thug talking about. He's been quoted before as saying he made $80,000 off the mixtapes before he was ever signed. And that's pretty damn impressive. You know, that's why he came into the game talking about already platinum. You know what I mean? And then there were the other players in the game that we saw. Mike Jones, obviously, Paul Wall, who were both in Still Tippin'. You know, their albums ended up dropping to the mainstream. Mike Jones moved on with his whole Ice Age movement. We seen Chamillionaire come in, kill the game as well. It was a wild time, you know, 2004, 2005, of course, the legendary Zero, which, you know, like I said, some of these cats, of course, too, Bun B was making a lot of noise at that time as well. But a lot of us, we already knew, of course, who Bun B was because of UGK and everything like that. And if you remember at that time when the Houston takeover as far with the mainstream was really blowing up, Pimp C was doing a bid. So Bun B stepped out on the solo tip. You know what I mean? Had his trill movement going, was working with Webby, of course, Boosie. There was a lot going on. It was a different time. It was a special time to look back on. And yo, real quick, remember that track Bun B did with Paul Wall and I forget who else was on it, but it was like Texas is the home of the players and pimps. They don't know that joint was hard as well. But anyway, Slim Thug started getting, you know, interviews and such, you know, because this is pre-internet era. So we're seeing him on MTV, MTV2, you know, Sucker Free, Sunday and all that, BET interviews. And he was talking about how he really was already platinum, invested his money in real estate. I believe he said like selling cars, a lot of different business ventures that the average person can invest their money into as kind of like an entry level into the business world, aside from hustling in the streets. Now, like I said, Texas, they, as far as the mainstream, that was a really special time for them back then. As the years went on, you know, some of these dudes continue to have success as far as with the mainstream. And just randomly, I got to throw it in here. I'm sorry I didn't say it earlier in the video. Of course, rest in peace, DJ Screw. A lot of us hip hop fans during this time, you know, who weren't aware of this Texas movement when the takeover happened, we started doing our research. And, you know, my one friend that I was telling you about that was from Texas, he told me about DJ Screw. But anyways, time went on. You know, the buzz kind of faded away a little something. Slim Thug dropped some more albums. You know, he had his Boss Hog, Outlaws. I felt the first solo Jump Off was so hard. You know, I ain't heard of that. Who's the boss? All that ish was tough. He was on, the Three Kings was hard as well. Like all the way leading up to that album, like everything I heard from Slim Thug, I was like, yo, this shit is tough, you know. But and he put out the Boss Hog, Outlaws compilation albums and whatnot. Was on with Pharrell on the Star Trek, Interscope records and everything, and then 08, 09 hits, and he ends up going back independent. And, you know, from my understanding, he still is very business minded. Even, you know, after all his success, he's still been smart with his money, and he tried to do a lot for his community.
Trip if we didn't have him, the boss of all bosses, come by the show, Heather B.
No doubt.
Appreciate y'all having me, man.
He was already platinum a long time ago, Heather B.
Come on now.
Come
I
on.
got a few throwback Thursdays, man.
Man, we've been going to the Thug Show for quite some time, Heather B.
Let's talk about it.
And he's here with us today, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for Slim Thug.
Came the first time, Houston was more of a big smile. It's like a big smile town. It was kind of like that type of culture.
We talking about when we came and did the
Super
My
Bowl.
Block.
Yeah, that way when we did that back in what, 04, 05?
04, I brought MTV out here and we did the My Block series.
Right. The culture of Houston was everything. That's it. Like, you know, they only wanted to hear Houston rap. the cars was the main thing. The cars with the candy and outlet there.
Yeah.
Now Houston is it's growing. It's a lot of people coming from everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So you see a lot of changes, a lot of people, doing different stuff. Even the younger generation, not as much on the swingers and stuff like we was on back in the day. But it's cool though, man. It's good, man. You see the city. It's like a real city now.
Yeah.
At first, it was like a big small town.
So y'all not experiencing does the gentrification that you've seen in a lot of these cities like Oakland or New York, is Houston going through that too?
That's part of what we do at Boss Light Construction, man. We got with the city and we started building affordable homes and acres home. You know what I'm saying, to try to control that. You know what I'm saying. We built affordable homes because a lot of people is going to these hoods and just buying up everything. You know what I'm saying, and then running these people out of there and building these expensive places and running them taxes up. So it's definitely going down in H-Town. The whole Fourth Ward almost gone, and everything.
Did you hear him slip in Boss Life Construction?
He wasn't a slip.
They kind of slipped that in right there. That's one of your ventures, right?
Right, yeah.
And then with Boss Life Construction, you have to bid on projects as well. Or you just go in.
We actually with us we did we wanted to build a little small community in Acres Home that was nice. You know what I'm saying? Where people don't have to leave the Acres Home and can still have a nice area. So we got like 10 homes built from bottom. We went to the city and what we did, they gave me my own day. So I was like, what's some different stuff we can do out here in Houston to give back? So when they gave me my own day, that was one thing they told us about. It's a thing called Laura Lots, where if you build affordable homes, then they will allow you to get the land for like $1. So what we did was we got a couple lots from them and built on that. But the deal is you got to sell it, build an affordable home, and also we give if they qualify, we give them the down payment to move in and everything.
Wow, man. Yeah, Slim Thug, give it up for Slim Thug, give it back to the community.
That's pretty dope. Try to keep some of the local people from being kind of run up out of their own neighborhood because of gentrification, which we hear about all the time when then property value goes up. It's a whole thing. That's a whole nother conversation, discussion, you know what I'm saying? But that's very commendable for Slim Thug, care about his community. And he just dropped some new music, I believe, like a year ago. I don't know if I listened to that one. Anyone out there who's still bumping Slim Thug and keeping up on the new music, make sure to hit the comments. Let me know what tracks are dope, what your thoughts are. And as we know, just a year ago or so, Slim Thug caught that thing. You know what I mean? He came up POSITIVE. You know what I'm talking about? And was even working with Joel Osteen. You know what I'm saying? The big church preacher guy. Supposedly they did a collab together. Although some people from Osteen's camp were saying, no, that's not true. But the song is out there. So I don't know if they're trying to say Slim Thug just put it out on his own without Osteen's permission or whatever. But who knows? But that's all I got on this one, guys. I just kind of wanted to go back in time in the time machine, back to this 2004, 2005, a special time in hip hop where, like I said, just Texas blew up on the hip hop scene, commercially. And it was insane, man. They straight up took over the game. So share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. This is Jay Coffee Talk. Daily content, music, news, sports, and more. And I'm out of here, y'all. Team Coffee. Guys, if you support me, throw some coffee emojis up or something in the comments. Things has been rough lately. You know what I'm saying? Jay Coffee Talk. We'll never quit. But, I love y'all for your support. So, I just need to see some of it right now. You know what I mean? Not that y'all don't support. You know what I mean? But I just need to see some coffee emojis or something. You know what I'm saying? So I know y'all are listening to me out there. Catch you on the next one. Be safe, everyone. Peace.